Welcome to the Sharon Show. This show is a show of inspiration, stories, tools, mindset where you can grow and ultimately live a life you love. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Sharon Show. I am so happy to have Kim Mabon here. She is from Creative Design. So, Kim has been working as a creative professional for over 30 years. And during that time, she has worked with a variety of advertising agencies, publishing companies, and businesses of all types. She has received over 90 awards from various organizations, yay, for her creative works. And Kim is very active in her community, serving several nonprofit boards and the Corona Rotary Club. She is the founder and CEO of Creative by Design, a full service creative agency that helps their customers improve their bottom line with high quality, consistent, and effective graphic and web design, as well as print and promotional products. So, welcome, Kim. Thank you for being on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you for the invite.
Thank you. Thank you. So, usually my listeners tend to be startup companies, solopreneurs. And I started the show because I wanted to just share with different people different tools that we can do when we're building a business and some of the different hiccups that we can run into. So, what kinds of things should a startup have when it comes to creative and being in design?
Well, you have three basic elements that you want to start off with. One is a logo or a brand identity. Second would be a set of business cards, so you have something to hand out when you meet people, and then a website. Most people these days will go to a website before they'll pick up their phone to get more information. So those are the three basic essentials that you need to have for your business.
Oh, beautiful. And those seem so simple, but I'm sure sometimes it can be a little bit difficult, especially with AI nowadays. There's a lot of AI apps that will build your logo for you. So what's the difference between building the logo by yourself, like through AI or anything like that, and versus hiring a professional like yourself?
Okay, you want to bring up my slides because I believe we got some bullet points there
Sure.
regarding this. Okay, so the big question is about your logo and identity. What's the difference if you hire an AI, hire a professional or design your logo using AI? So the biggest difference is you could save a lot of money by using AI to design a logo, but it's got quite a few challenges and requires some additional work in order to make it professionally usable. One of the differences between when you hire a professional, you get market research with that typically. I know when I work on a logo for any of my new clients, I am doing some market research to see who else is in their industry even nearby or nationally, depending on the company. And I'm making sure that their logo it stands out in that marketplace and it's competitive. Um, the other thing that we also talk about is identifying a target audience. Too often, business owners will come to me with, oh, I want peacock feathers in my logo, and but their target audience will not respond to that. It's because they want that because they like it, but they haven't given any thought into what their target audience will respond to. And when designing your business logo or branding logo, this is something that you definitely have to consider is who is your target audience and how will they respond to what they're seeing. The other thing is having color options. When you do a AI logo, you just get one logo. There's nothing else given. You're going to need a full white version. You're going to need a full black version. You're going to need a spot color version. Um, Spot colors are still used in certain things like embroidery and other types of things where it has to be a flat color. Um, and they need a number that's identifiable so they can match to that color. And then you'll need reverse options for printing on dark backgrounds. And that is something that we provide when we do a logo package. There's like a dozen file types and between colors and file types. That's where the last point of the files provided and the usage of them. Um, you need something that shows your vendors how to use your logo properly. Um, You could go the full-blown route of a brand identity guideline document that a lot of the larger corporations use. But for small businesses, at least have a document, a PDF that shows this is how it should look in color, in black and white, and in reverse. So when it comes to logos, that is the difference between hiring AI and a professional. AI will give you probably a JPEG, and that's not going to cut it with a lot of vendors. You're going to need a vector format so it can be enlarged to any size. You're going to need print resolution, web resolution, dropped out versions, all kinds of different things.
Wow, and it's interesting because as a when people are opening their business, they think, oh, I'll just get a logo and it'll be just a one version. But then it doesn't really translate if you want to put it on different types of products at that point.
Yeah.
And in order to do something where it is consistent, it's always best to go to professional so it translates and it's the same and across the board versus if you do it in different JPEGs and you try to modify it yourself, it probably won't be consistent in the colors and all that stuff. So those are great tips.
Yeah, at the very least, if you do an AI logo, you want to have a professional convert it for you to vector format and give you those different color options of it.
Got it. So you're saying it's not too late if someone started with an AI logo and then now they can develop consistency at this point still.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good, very good. Okay. Well, and then in addition to logos, so when you actually create your logo, the next question I get from many entrepreneurs is, do I actually need a website? Is that something that I could do myself? And then, plop the logo on there. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, actually, I think we jumped ahead a little bit because we've got
Oh,
business cards to talk about.
oh, okay.
Then we'll
Sorry.
get to the website. Then we'll get to websites.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah, so your business card is one of your key branding tools, and it should leave an impact with the person that you leave it with. At the bare minimum, of course, you want your branding on there and you want your contact information. But things your card should contain are your name, title, if you have one, logo. Um, Photos can be hit or miss with business cards. The rule of thumb is if you as a person are the brand, like many of your life coaches probably are, they are the brand, or a real estate agent, or people like that, where they are the brand and their business name is kind of secondary, then you would put your photo on the cards so they can remember you. With a lot of businesses, though, you can run into the caveat of it could create a bias before they even reach out to you, because you might look like their ex-girlfriend or boyfriend and they get a negative feeling about you just because of your looks, and you don't want to stop that. Then again, with a business card, you're handing it to them, so they already know what you look like. And it does help them remember who you are afterwards when they find it in their pocket 2 days later and forgot all about the conversation. Some other
You
things.
know what? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that brings me to a good point because I know that there's a lot of things that are going around right now with those digital business cards. So I know this is kind of sort of on the subject, but what's the benefits of either or should we always opt for an actual paper card?
I have both. I keep the digital one, especially for when I run out of cards. But one of the problems I find with the digital card is people will scan it and then hours later or even a day later after they've met me, oh, I wanted to talk to that person, and they go searching in their phone. They can't remember my name, can't remember the business name, and they can't find me where it was stored in their contacts, because I mean, let's face it, people have thousands of contacts in their phones these days, and it's really hard to find somebody once you've added them in. So a paper business card comes in handy for them to remember you later.
Perfect, perfect. Well, that's wonderful, wonderful. So other than business cards, what other essential beginning budding entrepreneur should have for purposes of marketing and branding?
Well, the website is the next must. There are
Hmm.
things like brochures and flyers and postcards that you can have to promote yourself and or promote a specific service or product later. But to get yourself started, it's the logo, the business card, and that website. So we can dive into websites right now.
Okay.
Your website needs to clearly convey your expertise and build trust and make it easy for potential clients to engage with you. All these different systems are out there, and I always get this question, which one should I use? Should I use Wix? Should I use Squarespace? Should I use WordPress, Shopify, GoDaddy Website Builder? There's just so many options out there, so we're going to break down what the difference is between these. So there are systems that are closed, and then there are systems that are open. A closed system is something like Wix or Squarespace or Shopify or even GoDaddy Website Builder. An open system is WordPress, Joomla, or Drupal, or something like that. The major differences between the two, the closed systems like Wix and Squarespace and Shopify are much easier and faster to set up for someone who has no web experience, but they're very limited on what they can do. One of the pros is you don't have to perform regular maintenance on them. They take care of all of that for you. Their websites are protected. The major con with them is you're restricted to the box they put you in. You can't do major integrations with any outside software unless it's something that that system offers. And a lot of times their systems that they offer are very restricted as well. If you're going to be selling product, you can quickly get on something like Squarespace or Shopify. Any of these platforms will allow you to sell products through your site. Shopify is more designed for e-commerce. Squarespace is as well. Wix was basically a content management system, but it also has the addition of e-commerce if you need it. And then when it comes to WordPress and Drupal and Joomla, they're open source systems, but they're much more advanced and require typically hiring a web developer in order to create them for you. You can do it if you're tech savvy, but you probably will run into issues. And the biggest advantage of those platforms is that you can expand it as much as you want. There's no limit to the expansion or the integration of what it can do. You just need to find the right plugin to do what it is that you want done. And if you can't find that, you can actually hire someone to write a plugin for you to do what you want it to do and give your site that integration. The downside to it is it's open source. It does need to be kept up to date. There are multi-levels of software that are within it that have to be kept up to date in order to close any security loopholes that might open when things get updated.
And I
So
have a
that's
quick
the
question.
difference between the systems. Yes.
And quick question, and I don't know if this falls under the open and close, but I had heard something that if you, depending on who you have your website with, that you're actually just leasing your website through them versus actually owning your actual website.
Yes. So that is the difference between like Wix, Squarespace, and Shopify. They own your site. Everything is stored on their server, and if you try to leave and go to WordPress and build your own, you have to start from scratch. You can copy your content, your words, and your pictures, but you can't export the site and take it somewhere else. They
Okay.
are pretty much the owners of it at that point. I mean, you own the account, and they can't give it to somebody else, but you can't take that site structure with you because
Okay.
they
So
own
that
the structure. Yeah.
so that's something to consider when
Yeah.
you're making your
So
decision.
when it's WordPress, GoDaddy Website Builder is owned by you, but it's closed and it's controlled, so you can only do certain things with it. But WordPress, Drupal, and Joomla, you can install on any server um, with any hosting company and be able to work on it yourself.
Okay, great information. I know these are things that I did not think of. Um, Ultimately had to started on one and then pull it all down and had to restart into something else. So
Yeah,
yes,
you
so
end up
I've
losing hours of time and
yes. So I fell through that trap as well. So wonderful. Anything else on websites that you
yes.
think is
So
important to know?
I have a couple slides on what your website should contain. So you want a clear and compelling homepage. Um, it's got to have a good headline. that gives a powerful statement. These are the same type of rules that apply to advertising. It's you need to attract their attention and you need to get their attention. So addressing their pain points is one of the main things that you can do is identify, the struggles of your potential client and put the answers to that. You won't give them all the answers, but you want to give them a teaser so that it attracts their attention and gets them to then follow up and convert and contact you or fill out your form or watch your video or whatever it is that you're offering. You need the subheadline after that that gives that description of your services that addresses that pain point or that headline or whatever it is you're trying to convey to your potential clientele. And then you want to call to action, something that requires them to book a consultation or do something, take action to connect with you, either through signing up for a free white paper or a free document that gives them some insight, because then you have their email and you can market to them and you can go back to it. Or you can have them say, hey, book a consultation with me and put that link in for your calendar so that they can get a free consultation or just, even book a session right then and there. Because whatever your call to action is, you want to make sure that that's clear on your homepage.
It's interesting because I've heard those suggestions that you just said for people when you're trying to compose a post and catch people's attention. I didn't even think it really applied to websites also. So that's a great tip.
It does. And it also revolves around keywords. So you want to make sure whatever your potential clientele might be searching for you as whatever keywords are the buzz keywords in your industry, you want to make sure that those are used in a healthy manner on each of your pages. And then that's a whole science to itself when it comes to search engine optimization, which is organic search, making sure those keywords are on your pages.
Good to
Um,
know. Thank you.
yeah, then of course you want an about page, which is about your story and your credentials, who you are, what's your background, what makes you the person that they can rely on for the services that you provide. It helps to build trust with potential clients. You want to list your certifications or any credentials you might have that separate you from everybody else, or just give them let them know that you're the authority on the subject, that you've been trained and licensed or whatever it is. And then, of course, share your values and your philosophy. A lot of people want to make sure that you align with what their philosophy is. And this helps them to get to know you a little bit better and builds a relationship without you even talking to them.
Good to know. Beautiful, beautiful, wonderful.
Then, of course, you want a services page where you describe your offerings, what it is that you have to give to a potential client, and packages or pricing. Pricing is not definite. Some people don't like to post their pricing because then their competition can see what it is they're charging. But some people want to see that up front. They want to know, can I afford it before they even waste the time of the phone call? But it's completely up to you whether you want to do that. But at least with your packages, you need to make them appealing so they want to reach out and find out, hey, how much does this cost? Can I do this? And then, of course, the benefits and outcomes, testimonials, what do they get out of what they do, and just simple things.
Good. And this is all such great information because I know when I'm looking for a service and I'm looking on websites, these are actually all the questions that I'm asking myself when I'm looking to see if I'm trying to work with someone or if someone is even compatible or resonates with me. So this is
Right.
very good information. Thank you.
And then here, client testimonials and success stories, especially in the life coach industry, this is very important. They want to know that other people who've had successes in working with you. And videos are the best. I mean, video is king now. But if you can't get a video, at least try and get a photo. You can, with their permission, take one from their Facebook profile or something and put it with, ask them for a written testimonial and get it. But of course, a video testimonial is even stronger. And then,
Good.
of course, last but not least is your contact page. Um, do not publish your actual email on the website. Putting your email on the website will just open you up to a lot of spam. You can create a contact form that will email you directly without them seeing where it's going to. You can put whatever fields you want in that message, but at bare minimum, name, email, and what's the message. You could ask for phone number, you could ask for all kinds of levels of different things, or you could have different contact forms for different purposes, like a client registration form versus, hey, I'm interested form. And then of course your phone number, your address if you want to publish an address, as well as your social media links. And then if you have a booking software, you can put the booking link on your page as well.
So it's a one-stop shop.
Yep.
So perfect. Good to know. Thank you. Thank you. So anything else that we should know about websites?
Okay, I've got some optional and valuable elements. Um, use things like free resources or lead magnets. I kind of mentioned this before, like a free downloadable guide or an ebook. Um, example, like 5 steps to overcome self-doubt or some type of goal setting worksheet. This will help you build your email list and give you another method to market to them later, where you can then market seminars or workshops or live events, and you can send out that to that email list that you built from people being interested in what you're offering on your website. Another thing, blogs are great for search engines because you can write every industry has lots of different topics that can be discussed in short form. Even if it's just a paragraph or two about a specific topic, you can create that post becomes an entry point in the search engine when people are searching for certain keywords. You can share practical tips, experiences, insights, whatever you want to share in there. And then it also improves your SEO and adds credibility to you as an authority in the industry. So
Beautiful.
similar to some social media posts, you could put it on a blog post as well as a social media post.
That's what I was just going to ask you. We could probably even repurpose if we're posting a story or something inspirational on a social media post. We can actually just take it and then just revise it slightly and throw it into a blog post.
Yep.
Yeah, perfect,
And that
perfect.
way you're increasing how many points you have as far as entry points for search, because the search will find that blog post and it'll also find your social media.
Wonderful, wonderful. These are great tips. Great tips for anyone who's budding, a budding entrepreneur. Thank you so much. So, is there anything else, any other nuggets that you'd like to share with the
Ooh,
audience?
we got some more.
Oh,
Uh,
good.
you could do a video introduction of yourself and your coaching or your approach. It adds a personal touch to your website for them to see you talking right there. And I would recommend that be on the homepage or the about page, but the homepage probably better if you're introducing yourself and what it is that you're offering. Um, you want that newsletter sign up, of course, and send regular emails to that list. That helps nurture your potential clients, and maybe even a frequently asked questions session or page, addressing questions like how long are the sessions, what can I expect, do you offer virtual, just simple little things that you may not, any questions you've ever gotten from any client can be posted there, and it can help field a lot of the questions before they even reach out to you.
That's a good suggestion. That's a good suggestion.
And that's it.
Ah, beautiful, beautiful. So clearly, this is how our audience can go ahead and reach you. So it's Kim Maybong by Creative by Design, and email and phone number, and the QR code is on the screen. So if you have any questions, so wonderful. Thank you so much for being on the show. I believe many of my audience members will benefit from this because I know many of them are struggling with whether they should just do a landing page or whether they should actually do a website. And some of them are struggling, where do I do it on GoDaddy? Do I do it on Wix? They have all these questions. So I'm sure this will answer many of them. So thank you so much for your time and sharing your expertise.
You did bring up a point just now I want to touch on a little bit, which is landing
Yes.
pages versus a full website.
Mm,
You can do either one. A landing page, if you don't have a lot of content, not a lot of words to put on there, a landing page is a better option because a landing page can go on forever. But make sure you put menu links to different sections at the top. So your navigation will just jump down to a later spot on the page. That if you don't have a lot of words and a lot of content, landing pages can be better because then all the words are on one page and are searchable versus trying to spread just a paragraph on each page is not going to do much for you on search.
It's great tip, great tip. So it can actually be something that it can grow with you. So if you're really, really just starting out, it might be easy just to start with a landing page, few simple basics on there, and then as you grow, and you can spend your time building on your actual website as well.
Yep.
Yeah, perfect. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Kim. Thank you again for coming and sharing all these wonderful tips. I'm sure my audience is going to get so much value from this. So,
my pleasure.
Thank you for coming to the Sharon Madonna Show. I hope you had an amazing time, and I hope this episode served you. My intention is to help you live a life you love. If you love this show, please like, subscribe, and tell your friends, and I'll see you in the next episode.